Hey collectors, so every now and then I show a 187 scale car because you might wonder, why is this guy so negative all the time in his reviews? The reason why is because I don't come from collecting Hot Wheels. I come from collecting hobby grade toys, not toy store toys, right? So hobby grade scales are simply far more detailed than 164. Unfortunately, 164 is ruined by the fact that it came from Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars. And those companies simply, they're getting better. You know, every now and then Hot Wheels puts out some awesome stuff, but they just pale in comparison to model railroading, which is this thing, 187 HO scale model railroading. So I just want to show you this vehicle, you know, and just show you where, you know, if certain companies wanted to, they could, you know, make better vehicles in 164. So being 187 scale, this car you're looking at is made by a company called Herpa, Herpa. It's a German brand. And this brand, if they entered 164, they would destroy everyone else, I think, because they're able to do better detail at a smaller scale already. But one of those sacrifices is plastic. You need to go into plastic if you want fine detail. If I didn't tell you what scale this was, you might not know. You might think it's a 164 scale car, but it's quite smaller. So let me back out a little bit and show you a little bit more of these details. This model also is over 10 years old. It's probably 15 years old. So it's not like this is a newest technology. They've been doing this for decades. Okay, so it obviously rolls quite well. Although I don't know why you need to if it's going to just go on a model railroad diorama. But you can see the vents here. There's actually air passing between those vents. Maybe if I get a flashlight out here. No light can get up in there. But well, maybe there. You can see. Yeah, you can see a little bit of brown inside. So this is why I get angry at like TLV for not having hollow spokes. They blank off their wheels, but you can clearly mold something in plastic very thin like that, right? So it's pretty impressive, really, Herpa. The door handle is not just a blob; it actually has depth between up and below the actual handle you pull. This mirror actually has a reflective chrome paint or sticker on it. Look at these taillights. They're jeweled taillights. They're not painted, right? And you can see, well, hopefully you can see. There you go. You got this Mercedes star here. Sorry, let me get this out of the way. It's distracting. I don't know if it's gonna focus. It's so small, but yeah, there's a star. This one is a Brabus Mercedes. A little silver around the exhaust tips. Or I guess there is a tiny bit of indentation as well. So it's actually three-dimensional. Okay. Now the headlights. Right, inserted headlights. Tiny bit of chrome in this tiny little fog light. I mean, this fog light could fit in certain people's gap teeth if they wanted to, seeing how this is a dental pick. Right, so we got the raised and black painted or black plastic wiper blades. They're not just printed on graphics, they're actually three-dimensional. We have two tones in the interior, you know, a black steering wheel, a brown interior, a separate piece for the shifter. Right, so, and look at these panel gaps, they're super tight, right? So this is one of the benefits of making resin models. Resin models are simply superior to cast metal, especially crap zinc. Zinc is not a good metal because it causes all that paint bubbling. It reacts, it outgasses. So you don't get that with plastic. Model railroading has been around for probably 50 years in plastic, so they're stable. It's a stable material. This could stay in a landfill for however long, you know, until the next wave of dinosaurs come along. Who knows? So, yeah, I just want to, you know, reiterate that if you're gonna go for a true scale, 164 is not it really. It's a toy scale, whereas 187 is a hobby scale. N scale as well is 160 or 150. And the funny thing is that Tomica makes a line of cars out of plastic in that scale, and they actually seem to have just as good, if not better, details than their 164 scale TLVs because they're made of plastic. Okay, so yeah, hopefully you guys learned a little bit of something, but if no one complains about 164 scale cars, they're never going to end up looking this good. So I complain a lot because I see, improvements could be made everywhere. So there's a size comparison. This is why I'm doing this video, by the way. This model is made by Kyosho, and it's an SL55 AMG. So the SL class were a bunch of Grand Tourers, and in German it's the SL means super light. Okay, and then this is the 5th generation SL. The first SLs were from the 50s, the 300 SL. But this is now the 5th generation. It's got a retractable hardtop, and it's called the R230 body code, I guess, or chassis code. And it was available between 2001 and up to 2011 before the 6th generation came out. Okay, so there's a color way here. Silver would have been ideal, but I don't love this car that much, so, and frankly I have a better one in 187 scale anyway, so I went with the cheaper option. Okay, 500 PS, so pretty powerful engine, right, as it should be. It's an expensive Mercedes. Alright, so let's see if Kyosho did a good job this time around. I can already see it looks a little bit wonky. Something might be a little bit off on this guy. So, yeah, sorry, I can't really focus between two objects at different distances, but the wheels are missing spokes, it seems, right? That's the first thing I noticed there for sure. Okay, so I don't know. You guys can pause the video and decide for yourself if you think this Kyosho looks good enough. But let's get the dental pick out again. Alright, so the rake of the windshield is what's throwing me off. Now that's pretty much down. I feel like it's too vertical. I feel like it should be sloping downwards at a lower angle more. Okay, the wheels, yeah, typical Kyosho. At least there is air passing between those spokes. There should be. There usually is. Let's see. Get that flashlight out. Yeah, okay, so that's good. But, the side vent is just painted black. There's no air passing there because this is made of metal. The panel gaps are okay for diecast. The door handles are unfortunately almost glossed because of the white paint itself has such a hard time covering up the casting. This one does roll. Okay. So the grille here looks pretty good, chromed plastic and black as well, so that's nice. The inserted headlamps look okay. There's some silver paint here, looks pretty good. Some texture, a very light texture though, looks good. And then we got some black paint up here, seems alright. This Mercedes star looks okay as well. This side, let's see. Okay, so seems to be some paint rash right by the door handle. Sorry, I'm literally wiping my nose, I'm all congested. So that's not so great. I don't know what collection this came from, like how old this is. There's clearly no packaging, like no box, so I don't know. Plastic lights, pretty good. AMG, SL55, the star, the third brake light. Unfortunately, just black, pretty lame exhaust tips, really. Pressed together, so this is definitely probably an older model because the later Kyosho blisters, they have screwed together bases. So, okay, we got some treads here. And details on the bottom there. Interior, yeah, you got all the detail. Unfortunately, the steering wheel's crooked. That's a first. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Okay, yeah, alright. And no paint ever on the blister packs there on the mirrors. So, this is, I think it's just one of those early car collections from Kyosho. It just says Mercedes Benz car collection. I don't know if they've put out multiple Mercedes collections, but this is probably the first one. If they did, maybe it's the only one they did. I'm not sure, but just it looks like too tall or something like that. It just doesn't look like the svelte vehicle that an SL is. An SL just looks lower and meaner looking. I don't know, maybe it's the gap between the tire and the fender isn't too bad. Alright, so just going back to that photograph, look how low like the body looks. But for some reason, this thing just looks too tall and like boxy. It's just not svelte looking. So Kyosho, this is not their best effort. That's for sure. Don't get me wrong, I love Kyosho. They're the most popular brand in my collection. They're a great value versus detail proposition. But their early releases definitely have some wonkiness, something a bit off. So now the question is, can we get both of these on this display and see? Also, see now this 187, it doesn't look as tall and goofy as that Kyosho. The wheel gap is actually even better on this one. Okay, so let's let these things go for a spin. So the question, guys, which model do you think looks better? The diecast or the resin? Yeah, please leave a comment. I'm steering towards that resin myself. It's just crisper in every detail. It's not muted. Its proportions look better. It literally has air passing between the side vents, which is pretty crazy. I mean, those are tiny vents. So, yeah, that's what's going on. So that's why a lot of my reviews are negative, because this hobby, 164, they need to improve. They're just very often passing on garbage onto us collectors. Other companies, I actually really wish Herpa entered this market space, because I would like to see some companies go out of business. If you can't keep up, if you can't progress and make a good product for customers, you don't deserve to be in business, in my opinion. Herpa has hundreds, if not thousands, of CAD files of their cars. And they cover some weird, obscure ones even as well. You can check out their website. It's like herpa.de, and they have a whole catalog of their cars, trucks, military vehicles, airplanes. They don't mess around. They're a crazy model car company, or scale model company, not just cars. Alright guys, so I'm rambling on now, so hopefully I'll be a little more positive in my next review. But thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Alright, bye.